Yogis and Buddhist monks from many centuries ago found a deep truth. Reality changes when you look at it. They learned how to bring wonders into their lives, which shows how powerful focused attention can be. What, though, is the secret ingredient that makes this seem like magic? What change does a person's attention make in their world? That's what we're going to figure out. Let's learn more about how to use energy to co-create your reality and bring quantum events into your physical experience with just your attention in this movie. Focus, energy, and the strange quantum physics behind our world all work together in a way that is not as mysterious as it sounds. So can you really change your life by just shifting the way you look at things? To understand the flow of energy and attention in the study of attention and reality is like watching a river where the stream never stops. The stream of the river keeps going, and so does your attention, which guides the flow of energy. This idea, which is both simple and deep, shows how attention and the appearance of reality are intricately linked. Once we focus on a goal or wish, we direct our energy toward making it come true, attracting it into our lives like a moth to a flame. Have you ever noticed that when you really focus on a thought, situation, or idea, it seems to show up in your life? In fact, it's not just an accident. It's proof of how powerful your attention is, actively changing your life. There is a strong link between your focused attention and how the world responds. You can make the universe work in your favor by directing the beam of your attention in any direction. The rudder of your life's ship is your attention. It skillfully guides your world in the exact way you choose. Let's talk about energy that doesn't move and the ways that our lives seem to repeat themselves. Think of it as a wall that stops a river to run. When our energy stays the same, we get stuck in these repeating routines of life. These cycles will keep going until we break free from the chains of our stuck energy and change our focus. A river can only run again after the obstruction is taken away. Similarly, we need to take away the energy obstacles that stop us from shifting our focus, and as a result, making our lives better. We can make a way to a more satisfying and meaningful life by doing this. Keep in mind that energy can only change from one form to another. It can't be made or removed. This quote from Einstein shows how powerful we are as change agents. We can break out of repeating patterns and make quantum events happen in our world if we understand and control our energy through our attention. It's not about making energy, but about changing it, and our focused attention is the only thing that can make this change happen. Different kinds of attention. The world is based on polarity, which means that there are rules of light and dark, love and hate, and positive and negative. This is similar to how our attention works, which is opposite, and plays a big part in how our world attracts and repels us. When you focus on one end of a range, while being aware that the other end is also there, you have polar attention. We always have a problem and a way to fix it. They are like two opposite ends of the same range. Imagine a coin that says problem on one side and solution on the other. Which side of the coin are you going to focus on when something bad happens in your life? The side that gets your attention is the side that gets stronger. Focusing on the problem makes it worse, while focusing on the answer brings you the tools you need to fix it. Instead of avoiding the problem, you should focus on finding a way to fix it. The issue and the answer are not two different things, but rather two sides of the same coin. You can align with the good end of the range by changing your polar attention, which will have a big effect on your world. Understanding polar attention is very important if you want to break the circle of energy stagnation and make quantum events happen in your life. Your focused attention is the key to releasing the power that can change you. Now that we've talked about polar attention, let's look into non-polar or neutral attention, which is a more general type of attention. This kind goes beyond the twos and threes of our awareness. Having neutral attention is like being a silent spectator, seeing things as they happen without getting involved or biased. Think of yourself as a calm lake. There is something like a stone thrown into it. The waves the stone makes on the calm surface would get the most attention. But when you pay indifferent attention, you are the whole lake, calm, unaffected, and just watching the waves without getting upset. Accepting both ends of the polarity range without getting attached to or turned off by either is a key part of breaking out of the world you're in now and making a new one. When we watch without attaching ourselves or passing judgment, we stop adding energy to the reality we already have. This makes it less solid and allows a new reality to appear. So, how can you use this powerful power of neutral attention to make quantum things happen in your life? Developing a calm mind, accepting things as they are, and keeping a fair view are all part of it. Like a bird needs both wings to fly, you need to see both sides of a situation in order to get past it and make your dream come true. Not only do you break down the limits of your present reality when you master non-polar attention, but you also become the author of your quantum events and create a reality that fits your greatest goals. The power of good and bad attention. Energy flows where attention goes. This is the most basic rule of the world. Life reacts not only to how much attention we pay, but also to what we pay attention to, whether it's good or bad. When you think about bad things like anger, fear, or sadness, you attract things that are in line with those feelings. On the other hand, focused on love, joy, and thanks makes good things happen in your life. This is what the law of attraction is all about. It's a strong idea that says our thoughts and feelings create our world. By knowing and using the law of attraction, we can make our dreams come true and make our lives full of happiness, abundance, and satisfaction. Our feelings are like guide needles that point us in the right direction as we go through life's many events. Love and hate are both strong feelings that can lead to a strong circle of pulling toward and away from someone. Think about this. When you love something very much, you automatically focus on it. Additionally, when you really don't like something, you can't help but think about it. No matter what you're focusing on, love or hate, it tells the world to bring you more of the same, which changes your reality in deep ways. Tsitsu. Understanding our natural fear and survival mode is another important thing to think about. Fear is a normal reaction to possible danger. It's what kept our ancestors alive and safe. But in the modern world we live in, this fear often turns into a habit that stays with us even when there is no immediate danger. We are always in a state of survival mode because of this fear, which makes us more likely to focus on bad things and bring more of them into our lives. It's possible to break out of this loop and live a happier, more satisfying life if we can recognize and deal with this deep-seated fear. When we are aware of our fears, we can choose to change our attention from the bad to the good, which will start a chain reaction of good things happening in our lives. Don't forget that we have the power to shape our world right in our hands, or more correctly, in our unwavering purpose and attention. Effects of society on attention. Society has a huge effect on our attention and how we see things, especially through media and social networks. People are constantly being hit with too much information, and they can't help but watch a world shaped by fear and hate. Our attention is drawn to complex stories of fear, disaster, and scandal on news channels, social media feeds, and even gossip articles. These stories keep us in a negative loop in our minds. This constant stream of material based on fear trains us to expect and then create similar situations in our lives. It is very important for us to be aware of this trend and actively look for other information and stories that encourage growth, happiness, and resilience. 2. Now, let's talk about how anger, fear, and pride play a big part in manipulating society. People in different parts of society often use these very strong feelings to control and change public opinion, which can have very negative effects. For example, Political campaigns and advertising campaigns use these feelings a lot to get people to make choices and act in certain ways. They do this by appealing to the power of fear, the ability of anger to spark action, and the tendency of pride to make people loyal. When these feelings are manipulated, on the other hand, they can cause more disagreement, more conflict, and more anger, which keeps us in a world full of bad things and makes our journey together even more difficult. Lastly, the way we relate to each other is often shaped by bad experiences in the past. What we think and feel about love, trust, and bond is shaped by our childhood, past relationships, and other important events in our lives. If we don't do anything about these habits, they show up again and again in our relationships, attracting partners who make us feel the same, often painful things. To get out of these repeating patterns, we have to face and fix our past traumas, which changes our attention and, by extension, our reality. Remember what the great physicist Albert Einstein said: "We can't solve our problems with the same thinking we used to make them." Why neutral attention is important. Nonpolar or neutral attention is one of the most important tools for personal growth and progress. Being able to truly feel events and traumas without quickly labeling them as either bad or good is what neutral attention means. Instead, we think about them and see them for what they are: simple events in the beautiful dance of life. Traumatic events and hard times can sometimes feel like insurmountable mountains, throwing long clouds over our present lives. But neutral attention helps us change how we see things so that we don't see them as problems, but as chances to grow, learn more about ourselves, and understand things better. We can better process traumas by watching our feelings without judging them or fighting them. This way, the traumas can flow through our minds without getting stuck or being a constant source of negativity. Nonpolar attention can be a very useful tool for stopping bad events from sticking around. We often reinforce negative events without realizing it by giving them too much attention and value, which makes them stronger in our minds. By looking at these events without bias, however, we take away their power to bring more bad things into our lives. Lastly, neutral observation has the power to dissolve. This kind of care is like putting a light on our inner world without judging it. In this way, shining a light on our experiences helps the shadows of negativity fade, making room for healing and growth. The warm light of neutral observation can melt our worries, doubts, and pain, just like the sun melts the frost in the morning. This makes way for a world full of growth, resilience, and positivity. The correspondence of heart and mind. Our feelings and thoughts interact deeply inside of us. The hypnotic rise and fall of the ocean can be seen in this complicated dance. Imagine that our feelings are like currents that shape our thoughts, which rise to the top like waves. Our feelings are like a very strong spark, sending out waves that form and direct our thoughts. This process is so powerful that it can change our very world, affecting how we see and experience things in deep ways. Unfortunately, negative attention can have a big effect on what we think, like how a storm can make a lake less calm. When we think about bad things that happened or things we're afraid of, we have a lot of negative thoughts. This throws off the balance between our heart and mind, making our world full of chaos and hopelessness. It's like looking at the world through a crooked mirror. Both the image and our knowledge will be skewed. Understanding this link, on the other hand, shows us how to move toward a better safety. We can actively shift our attention to positive feelings and thoughts by managing our attention. Imagine that you are in charge of a wild horse. With skill, you can lead it to where you want it to go. Similarly, we can change the quality of our ideas and, by extension, our world by focusing on the good things in life. For this shift, it's not about pushing away bad thoughts. It's about deciding to grow good ones. In the yard of our minds, we plant seeds of happiness, peace, and love, and we water them with our attention. These seeds will eventually grow into a lush, healthy garden, making the outside world reflect the beauty and wealth of our inner world. The art of using attention. To fully use the changing power of attention, one must go on a deep journey of acceptance. As the first step toward balanced attention, acceptance is like opening the windows of a stuffy room to let in a stimulating breeze of fresh air. Being gracious and humble about what is happening in the present opens up a world of new opportunities. We do not fight what is, but instead easily flow with it, seeing challenges as necessary for our personal growth and progress. The next skill is learning to see failures as possible blessings in disguise. The problems we face in life are not obstacles in our way, but rather stepping stones that lead us to our destination. Winston Churchill said, "A pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty." Every setback teaches us something and pushes us to grow. Think of a seed. It has to burst and break apart before it can grow into a strong tree. On the same note, our problems can help us grow and change, making us stronger and smarter. Finally, shifting our focus to what we want to happen is a powerful way to make our dreams come true. This is like setting a guide for a ship. The ship will go in the way we show it. The way our lives go depends on what we focus on. When we pay attention to our hopes and dreams, we are actively writing the story of our lives. With the chisel of our attention, we shape our world and make our way through it. Socrates once said, "An unexamined life is not worth living." Let's look at where our attention is going and direct it toward the life we want to live. How to use your attention. To really use our attention to change energy and make quantum events happen in our world, we must first do a practice called total acceptance. Acceptance is more than just recognizing the way things are. It means accepting them fully and without judgment. This way of paying attention is called non-polar attention. Non-polar attention means noticing the world around us without labeling things as good or bad. It's about not judging things and just seeing them as they are. Because this view is objective, it helps us stay grounded no matter what is going on around us. It's like becoming the calm spot in the middle of all the chaos that life throws at you. One wise Zen master said, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few." When we are beginners, we can use non-polar attention to stay open to a wide range of possibilities. But it's impossible to say enough about how important acceptance is for breaking down resistance. Resistance keeps us stuck in the exact same situation, stopping us from growing and changing. On the other hand, acceptance is the key that opens these chains. We let go of our barriers and make room for the new when we accept the way things are now. It's like a river that flows smoothly around a rock. The river does not fight the rock. It just recognizes it and finds a different way to flow. In the same way, we need to learn how to get around the obstacles in our lives and accept them as a part of our path to growth and change. To get more into the second idea we're talking about, let's look at how powerful it is to look for secret gifts in bad things that happen. Life is a complicated web of events, some good and some bad. But every event, every thread in this fabric, is neutral in and of itself. What gives something a good or bad hue is how we see and understand it. That famous saying, "One person's trash is another person's treasure," says it all. It shows how different points of view can change everything. Loss, failure, or hardship are all events that are like raw clay that are ready to be shaped by our point of view. By being open and accepting of what is happening, we can start to see the secret gifts in it all, turning trouble into opportunity. Rather than trying to hide problems or make them seem less painful, this is about looking for ways to grow, learn, and possibly get benefits even when things are hard. It was the Persian philosopher Rumi who said, "The wound is the place where the light enters you." If we have the guts to look deeper, our wounds and problems can become opportunities for growth and enlightenment. Building on our understanding, we can use this as a launching pad to explore the vast ocean of possible benefits that lie beneath the surface of hardship. Acceptance lets us see things as they really are, without any judgment or pushback. It also lets us see things from a different point of view. As we change our point of view, we can see that every cloud has a silver lining, no matter how dark and scary it is. To find it, we only need to be brave and willing to let go. Now let's talk about the third point. If you want quantum events to happen, you must keep your mind on the reality you want to create. This means that our energy, thoughts, and feelings aren't spent on unimportant things. Instead, they are focused on making the world we want. The first step to getting this focused attention is to become calm. Equanimity means keeping your cool and staying calm, even when things are going badly. Picture a calm lake that isn't bothered by the wind. In the same way, equilibrium keeps your mind from being affected by things going on around you. It releases your energy from the chains of reactive reactions, so you can use it to make the world the way you want it to be. This state of calm makes it possible to go from accepting things as they are to making them better. This time, instead of staying stuck in a state of quiet acceptance, you start to make your dreams and goals come true. Albert Einstein once said, "Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions." This means that when you focus your imagination on the world you want, you direct your energy to make quantum events happen. As you do this, don't let any imagined failures get you down. They are just steps on your way to making your dreams come true. As we live our lives, our thoughts and emotions are like threads that hold everything together. We can turn the needle of our world into a beautiful picture of our choice, stitch by stitch, if we consciously choose where to focus and stay calm. In the end, attention is the most important thing we have that shapes our world. It's like a flashlight in a dark room. By directing this light, we bring out different parts of our world and make our own unique life experiences. Many spiritual lessons from the past stress how important it is to pay attention. For example, the Buddha once said, "We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make our world." These ancient teachings have found a modern resonance in quantum physics, which proves that what we notice, our attention, has an effect on the world we live in. In this way, our attention acts as a link between the mental world of thinking and the real world of things. Acceptance, redirection, and choice are all parts of a circle that changes things. It starts with peace and ends with the creation of wanted quantum events. Acceptance helps us see things as they really are, and serenity keeps us from being affected by them. Then, by making choices that give us power, we shift our attention to the world we want to create. My last words are meant to encourage you to use this three-step method. Don't forget that you are the weaver of your own life. You are the one who shapes your thoughts and energy. You can put together the beautiful fabric of your life by focusing your attention, staying calm, and making choices that you are aware of. So, step into your power. Use your divine ability to make things happen and change your world. Rumi wisely said, "The universe is not outside of you. Look inside yourself. Everything that you want, you already are."